And he stands by
Excuse me, my 6-year-old knows that, Lord Monckton.
That's right. I wrote to him, and I gave him a copy of or at least the president of the university gave him a copy of my letter to the president of the university pointing that one out, and he stands by his position that the Antarctic and the Arctic are the same. I mean, that's what he said when he said, I stand by my position. He's standing by all these lies.
I'm sorry, but that one blew me away. He doesn't know.
I could go on and on and on and on. There are literally hundreds of these. And what I've done is I've done a very long letter. It's 84 pages long to Abraham himself, which he hasn't replied to except to say he stands by his position. He stands by all these lies, even though it's plain and absurd that they're lies. It's quite clear that they're lies. Of course, this discredits him utterly in the eyes of his colleagues, in the eyes of academia generally, and he's about to be made a big fool of.
And turnabout's fair play. I mean, you are a formidable intellect. If you've done your research, I mean, you're one of the few people who's going to be addressing the World Federation of Scientists, who is a layman, and I think this guy has no idea that he's got a tiger by the tail.
I think he has every idea of that now, which is why he's I think, on legal advice, he's decided not to dig himself any further in. You see, if he admits he got it wrong, I'd be willing to say, fine, admit you got it wrong, put up take this. This is being broadcast on the university's web server, and every slide has the imprint of the university.
No, I know. I saw it a few weeks ago, and I've ignored it just because, I mean, I've seen these people lie continually, and
yeah.
I mean, he ought to get hired by.
The reason why this one's interesting is that this is clearly a lot of money has been spent on this, and it wasn't his money. Somebody has backed this, and somebody has organized it, and it's been very artfully done. So if you first look at it, you think, oh my God, what a complete lunatic Monckton is. He doesn't know the first thing about anything. It's only when you've seen my letter to Abraham, which just goes through it point by inexorable point, that you see just what a liar this man is, and just how very foolish the president of the university, Father D.J. Deese, is not to investigate the matter. And if you're listening to this and you want to help out here and get the truth to register once again in academia, then email DJ, D-E-A, S for sugar, E, at stthomas.edu. That's STTHOMAS.edu.
We'll also, Lord Monckton, get a story out about this in the next few days, and we'll put the phone numbers up there because I know the standard of libel, slander, defamation, because I'm a radio host.
Yeah.
And when I first got into radio, I had to, sit there with lawyers and be taught all this in quite a few little classes.
Yeah.
But the fact, if their lawyer's telling them to not retract, their lawyer's not telling him the right thing. If they premeditatedly lied about you, the only hope they've got is to reverse and apologize. If they keep it out there, they are going to be sunk.
Well, they are indeed, and I'm just waiting I'm giving them every chance, because the courts don't like this to be a sort of political football. So what I like to do is, because I have had to sue for libel on 2 or 3 occasions before, I've always succeeded. I've never lost.
You sent him a tort letter, basically.
No, I haven't yet.
But I mean, that's what your letter is.
Just saying I have these questions. I'd be grateful if you'd answer, and in the meantime, please take it off the web. They haven't done that, because what I'm doing is I'm creating a paper trail where the judge will look. He'll say, look, I've behaved on the whole pretty reasonably. The other side hasn't. And if the other side, in those circumstances, had lied, had the lies fairly drawn to its attention, had a month to get these lies put straight, and had simply refused to tackle it at all, then that's the point at which the judge will award enormous damages. Now, as you know, under the Freedom of Speech Convention, the Constitutional Amendment, you can say what you like about somebody, but if you stray into fact, and you state facts that are not true, and then draw from those facts a conclusion about somebody's character, which are strongly adverse to that person, that, even in American law, is libel.
Look, you can't say a public figure is a murderer if they're not.
That's right. And this is much more serious than that, because it's going to my professional reputation. It's saying I've gone around the world making these speeches, and essentially the whole thing's made up. It's all nonsense. I don't know what I'm talking about, or where I do know what I'm talking about, I'm lying. You can't get nastier than that. And for him simply to refuse to answer my letter, because he basically can't. I mean, it's an unanswerable letter, as you'll see when you see it. It's very detailed, but it's very interesting. It's actually worth dipping into it. It's not a thing to be read in one go. It's too long for that. But it's worth just dipping into it and seeing the staggering dishonesty. And I've got all the pictures of my slides and his slides in reply and his statements about me, and then my questions to him about why he says the things he says. And in those questions, I convey the information that makes it very plain to the reader exactly how it is and how frequently he has simply lied.
All right. Lord Monckton, amazing. We'll have to watch the aftermath of this. We look forward to getting your paper and publishing it at Infowars.com. Keep up the great work. Your integrity has been proven in spades. We are routing the enemy. God bless you.
Thank you very much, and God bless you too, and God bless America.
All right, we'll be back.